Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.
Welcome to the 101. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to the 101. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to 101 at Legacy Maker Sports Network.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of 101 here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. I'm your man, Darrell Owens, as we bring you, man, it's officially in the 50 range here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network for one-on-ones. And so glad to be here with you all today. We got a great Thursday night game coming up, or at least it could be a good Thursday night game, as the New England Patriots will take on the Atlanta Falcons tonight. I got New England in this one. Just going to throw that out there right off the bat. Love what I've seen from Mac Jones. Y'all see me praising Mac Jones every week on this show because it's not sexy. And what I mean by that is it's not, oh, man, he's throwing 3,000 yards a game. No, but he's been efficient, and he's helping that New England team win. And you can see the confidence level on this team. This New England team looks like a well-coached Bill Belichick football team. Took a year, COVID last year. I'm not saying that they wouldn't have been able to do this with Cam, but what I am saying is Mac Jones, I think, is the perfect person to lead this New England Patriots team, and these young guys are rallying around him. There's a lot of no-names, and if you go through and look at that roster, there's a lot of no-names on that offense. Maybe a couple of ones that pop out, Hunter Henry, guys like that. Juju Smith was a little nicked up here and there. Nelson Aguilar, those are names but the Jacoby Myers are starting to learn. Stevenson in the backfield, Damian Harris has been amazing in the running game. So good game tonight. And, I'm not picking Atlanta, I don't think, no more the rest of the season because they disappoint me every time I need them to not disappoint me. So for me, New England tonight, I'm not going to put a score on it, but I like New England to win this contest. Now, of course, we're going to break down these power rankings. We got to get into these power rankings and just, another great week of NFL action, another topsy-turvy week of NFL action. The last 2 or 3 weeks, you have not been able to, you don't know what's going to happen. I know that my record has not been great. And in the way it looks, it doesn't look like it's going to get any better the way things are going. I went from being in the top 3 to 4. Now I'm like scraping at the bottom in the pick'ems. I might be last this week. I would not be surprised if I'm in last place at this point. I just can't catch a break. It's been a really, really rough time. Anywho, let's go ahead and get the power ranking started, of course, with the bottom. All right, so here we are at the bottom, week 11, and it stays the same pretty much. The Lions did find a way to not lose this week. So I'm excited about that for Dan Campbell. They're getting closer, and that's got to mean a little something. So they're 0-8-1. They did tie with Pittsburgh this week, and this week that just passed. And I'm telling you, man, I had my fingers crossed that they were going to pull this one off. And there's nothing against Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Nothing against Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Only that I wanted to be able to see a guy like Dan Campbell, because I think that Lions team is improving to a certain extent, but they just don't have the right pieces yet. I think he's the right coach. They just got to get him more pieces. It's going to be a hard and tough sell, but the Lions are 0-8-1. They did finally end their losing streak. Number 31, the Houston Texans. They're 1-8. They did not play this week. They'll be back to play this week. The Texans have the Titans. Not going to be an easy task. I do not see them beating the Titans this week coming up. The Jets are sitting at number 30 at 2-7. Just a really bad game for the Jets against the Bills. They had a couple of positive weeks for the Jets that, here in the last couple of weeks. And have they been phenomenal? No, but they've been competing. They did not compete in this contest. 45-17, the Bills win that one. So they're number 30 on the power rankings. Number 29, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Another team that, this time, really tough game against the Colts. I mean, they fought hard. They had opportunities to win it. They had chances to take the lead towards the end. Just didn't happen. They lose this one to the Colts 23-17. We got the Jaguars at number 29 at 2-7. The Miami Dolphins are at 28 at 3-7. I could have moved them up a little bit higher. I said no, but very impressive win against the Ravens. The Dolphins team that we saw last week against the Ravens is the Dolphins team that I felt like we would see all season long. Great defense, just a little, it felt like it could be a Bill Belichick type of team. Because Brian Flores, in my opinion, is that type of coach. He's the perfect coach down there. They just got to get enough weapons offensively to really go with that great defense, and they're going to be fine. So Miami, please listen to me. Give Brian Flores the chance to grow that thing down there in Miami. Doesn't look positive. Yes, they had a great run last year. Just give the man time. He is a great coach. If you lose him, I promise you someone else will pick him up because he is that good of a coach. And I think that, once he can get the right players all the way around in the system and he can have a quarterback that stays healthy, he's going to be good. At number 27, the Giants. The Giants did not play last week, so they stay where they are at 3-6. And at number 27 on the countdown. Next, we have the Bears at 3-6. Bears also did not play last week. The Bears are 3-6. They stayed where they are. Number 25, the Washington football team moved up a couple of slots. Big win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They move to 3-6 on the year, and they are at number 25 in the power rankings. Next, number 24, the Seattle Seahawks are at 3-6. Seattle dropped 2 slots in this week, but the biggest thing was Russell Wilson was back, and they're playing the Packers. Big game field. It was a really close game up until halftime. It was 3-0 at the half. It wasn't like Green Bay was running away with this thing. The Green Bay didn't score their touchdowns till late, but for the first time in Russell Wilson's career, he was shut out. First time ever Russell Wilson was shut out. Now, low-key smile as a Packers fan, but also, I'm a Russell Wilson fan at heart, so hated to see that happen to him. But when it's against the boys, I don't care. Next one at number 23, the Atlanta Falcons, 4-5. They got demolished by the Cowboys, 43-3. Was not a contest, wasn't close. It never, unfortunately, it just never was going to happen. I hate to say it. I mean, after last year's debacle, I had a feeling Dallas would go and win this one. They win that one 43-3. The Falcons are number 23 on the countdown. Number 22, the Philadelphia Eagles are 4-6. Look, Philadelphia has been playing good football all year. Yes, their record says 4-6, but they've been very competitive this year. Very competitive. I thought that they would be a team that, maybe not so good, maybe do all right here and there. I didn't think they would be anything special, but they've proven me wrong. I mean, I like what I've seen from this Eagles team. Even though, that they're just rough outside the edges, in my opinion, for the most part. But I like what I've seen. Jalen Hurts should be the guy there. Just let him grow. This culture in the NFL or in sports where, if you're not performing immediately, or growing, immediately, he's a young quarterback, second year in the league. Give this guy time, man. Give him time. It's the social media, but that's another story for another day. Eagles at 22. At 21, the 49ers. Great win for the 49ers this week. I wanted to move them up a little bit higher, but not just yet. 4-5 on the year. Big win on Monday night against the Rams. I mean, destroyed the Rams. I'll be honest with you. I did not see this 31-10 victory for the 49ers. I picked the Rams. They're out getting OBJ, which I'm still a little bit upset that he didn't come to Green Bay, but I do understand why he didn't come because the Green Bay front office is a little bit from time to time. But the 49ers look impressive. And once again, shows that the NFC, the bottom 2 slots that are open in the wild card right now, is going to be a dog fight because there's a lot of teams in the mix. Falcons, Eagles, 49ers, and heck, the Washington football team. A lot of those teams, those 3-6 teams, they're still in the mix. That's how crazy it is right now. So we'll see what happens. But that is the bottom right now. Lions, Texans, Jets, Jaguars, Dolphins, Giants, Bears, Washington football team, Seahawks, Falcons, Eagles, and 49ers at the bottom this week in the power rankings. Yeah, so, like I was saying, there's a lot of teams that I feel like could still make leaps and make a push here. I'll give you an example. The New England Patriots, for the most part of this season, were in the bottom. That's not the case this week, but we'll get to that in a little while to tell you where they are on this countdown. But I love what I've seen for some of these teams at the bottom that I think they can really grow from here. The 49ers can make a leap from here. Watch out for the Eagles. There's some other teams. Hey, the Dolphins. I know the Dolphins are a little bit further down, but if they can keep playing defense the way they're playing defense and their offense can come around, they're going to be all right. Now, let's head to the outside looking in. Outside looking in, we got the Vikings at 20, the Broncos at 19, the Browns at 18, the Panthers at 17, and the Colts at 16. The Vikings, very impressive victory over the Chargers. I knew that was a toss-up game. There's one game that I got right that I didn't know if I was going to get that one right, but it's just two teams that, you flip a coin and see what happens. It was a good victory for the Vikings. At 19, we got the Broncos. Oh boy, I picked the Broncos last week against the Eagles, and they just never showed up at home. And then, Dallas fans, most of the ones I've heard this week, the fluke from the week before is exactly what they're calling it after that performance against the Eagles last week for the Broncos. The Browns got destroyed by the Patriots. The Patriots are really starting to look like Patriots from a couple of years ago. And I mean, you have to watch out for them. You really do. Right now, they're the 7th seed in the AFC. You have to be careful because they could creep up and really make some noise. So watch out for the Patriots. And I'm going to keep saying that. They're my wild card team right now in the NFL. But we got the Broncos at 19, Browns at 18. The Panthers, great win for the Panthers over the Cardinals. And so only two teams can say they beat the Cardinals this year, and that's the Packers and the Panthers. And it was great to see, this Panthers team, go into Arizona. Yes, no Kyler Murray, no DeAndre Hopkins, but that didn't mean nothing last week against 49ers team, and they were at home. Cam Newton back in the fold. He looked phenomenal when he was in the game. So there's an excitement going on down in Carolina. And who knows if this Cam Newton signing is going to booster this Panthers team to keep making a push. At 16, the Colts, nice win over the Jaguars. Colts are still bouncing back from that slow start. They're still bouncing back from that slow start. They were 1-4 at one point. Now they're looking at they're 4-1 in their last 5 games. So they're looking great right now. The Colts are starting to catch up. The Titans have to watch out for them because Carson Wentz Incorporated with Jonathan Taylor have been great. And the Titans are nicked up, but yet they're still holding on to the division lead. So that is the outside looking in. Now, this outside looking in teams, the team I'm most impressed with right now, the Colts. They continue to get better every single week. Jonathan Taylor is a stud. He is officially tied for number one at the Russian and for the Russian title right now. Obviously, Derrick Henry being out, he had a 300-yard lead before he got injured, but now Taylor should pass him in the next game. So we'll see what Jonathan Taylor will end up with at the end of this season. Now let's hit you with the top 15. First, the Las Vegas Raiders. I'll tell you, I'll never get it right, y'all. I'll never get it right. The Vegas Raiders are 15 on the countdown, lost in a devastating fashion to the Chiefs 41-14 on Sunday night. It just wasn't even close, and this Raiders team from week to week, you don't know what you're getting. There's a couple teams like that, and they're one of them. I mean, it is a toss-up. They don't definitively say, oh man, they're great. Like they're in the playoffs right now, but there's nothing to be excited about. Nothing. Number 14, the New Orleans Saints, another team where they're kind of just, with the injury to Jameis Winston. Trevor Siemian hasn't played bad. They were in that Titans game for a while, and they had chances to win it. The Titans snuck by, won 23-21. They've been still competing, and that's the biggest thing for New Orleans. As long as you got to keep competing despite the injuries, and they've done just that. At number 13, the Los Angeles Chargers. Boy, Chargers lost a tough one to the Vikings. But, this Chargers team, another team from week to week, you just never know. I know I'm saying it about a lot of teams, but it's like that this year. That middle cluster, there's a lot of parity going on in that middle of the NFL. There's those teams that are right at the top. There's probably about like 5 or 6 like dominant teams at the top, in my opinion. The teams that you got to watch out for, maybe 5 to 6. But besides that, that middle group, pretty much from like 7 down to, I'd say almost like 23, that thing's wide open. That thing could change before the end of the season. Next at 12, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. They were on a bye this week. They actually moved up a couple spots, because of some of the losses from those teams ahead, but they're at number 12. Number 11, the Kansas City Chiefs. Look at the comeback story here for the Kansas City Chiefs, trying to creep their way back into the top 10. They're getting close. They're starting to click a little bit. They're starting to look a little bit like the team of old. They're getting healthier. Their defense is still garbage, in my opinion, but we're going to find out. They've had a good couple of weeks to see if they can continue to thrive here in the upcoming weeks. At number 10, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, they're 5-3-1 Pittsburgh Steelers, tied with the Lions last week. No Ben Roethlisberger, and it was an ugly game. There's no nice way to put it. It was just an ugly game all the way through, and they survived for the most part. They didn't get an L in that one, so in that case, just take the tie and run. Now, I will say this about ties in the NFL. It's time to get rid of them, NFL. NHL has shootouts. Just do something and make the field goal kickers earn their job even more. Let's make it a field goal contest. Once you get past overtime, just set up the field goals, put the pressure on them. Hey, you get paid. You're a professional. Let's make it a field goal contest at the end, or 2-point conversions until somebody messes up. We've got to have something to end ties in the NFL. Next, at number 9, man, my hot team, man. My hot team. They started off in the season at number 22. They are in the top 10 right now, and that's the very hot, very, very, very hot New England Patriots. I know you are probably saying, Darrell, you are really talking up this New England Patriots team, but that's because they've been playing so well. It's crazy. They're on a 4-game winning streak. And they continue to thrive. Since that loss to the Cowboys, a 54-13 victory over the Jets, a 27-24 shocking victory over the Chargers, a 24-6 victory over the Panthers, a 45-7 victory over the Browns. I'm telling you right now, New England is dangerous. And, it's only going to get, in my opinion, better from here. They got some tough matchups down the road. They got the Bills, of course, twice. They're going to take on the Colts, another tough matchup. The Dolphins won't be no slouches. They always play them well. And the Titans. So they've got some matchups down the road. But I think this New England team is going to make the playoffs. And I got a feeling they're going to get one win, especially in this very damaged AFC. It's just a Wild West thing going on out there in the AFC. So watch out for the New England Patriots. Number 8, speaking of New England Patriot, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers lost a tough one to the Washington football team. They are number 8 on the counter, and they're 6-3 on the season. Small setback. They have some injuries going on, but the Buccaneers will be fine. At number 7, the Los Angeles Rams. Ugly loss. Ugly loss to the 49ers. This team is, trying to find ways. They're in win now mode. They bring people in. They brought in Von Miller. They brought in Odell Beckham Jr. They traded, in my opinion, they should have never traded Kenny Young away to the Broncos, because I feel like he really good young piece on their team, and they're trying to go for it all now. And Stafford Incorporated have to figure something out because it's a struggle, but it's still in a good spot in the season where they can still make a run. So it's not over for the Rams by far. They're 7-3. Next, the Baltimore Ravens, another team that lost last week. That, man, it was hard to watch, but the Dolphins played extremely well, and they pretty much shut Lamar Jackson and the squad down, winning that one 22-10. But we had the Ravens at 6. It's still a tough road there out there in the AFC. At number 5, the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills 6-3, nice win over the Jets. Buffalo is a team that, they've had a couple games this year. You were like, what? Stop playing. They got the Colts this week. Very big matchup, because the Colts could win this game. And the Colts win this game. They continue to grow. The Bills continue to slide. New England's got the Patriots. By the end of this week, ladies and gentlemen, the New England Patriots could be in the lead in the AFC East. Myself, I picked the Buffalo Bills to go to the Super Bowl. I picked, the Buffalo Bills to make a run to the Super Bowl. I didn't pick them to win it, but I did pick them to make a run there. They've got to really crank it up here in the next couple of weeks. Next, number 4, the Arizona Cardinals. Now they went back to number 1 last week and then slid right back down here to number 4. It was a tough one last week for them. In that matchup against Carolina, still no Kyler Murray. So, until they get Kyler and DeAndre back fully, it's still kind of hard to judge how this Cardinals team has been doing. Great win last week, but that was a tough one against the Panthers. Next at number 3, the Dallas Cowboys. Boy, oh boy, I tell you what, Dallas is looking, in the great words of Will Ferrell, scrumptious. A beautiful combination of scrumptious and excellent. They have went in there and they, bounced back from a rough loss the week before, and they just destroyed the Falcons. I mean, it just wasn't pretty at all. And so Dallas, this week take on the Chiefs. Big game for both teams. Both teams need it. Yes, Dallas is 7-2, but they need it. You don't want to lose this one if you're Dallas. You want to continue to show that you are going to be a team to reckon with when playoff time comes. Number 2, the Green Bay Packers. Yes, I'm not being biased. I mean, the record shows us. I could have put them at number 1, but I wasn't going to do that. This Green Bay team, tough victory against Seattle. Seattle always plays them tough. Seattle's still not the same team that we've seen in the past years, but they got Russell. Russell was a little bit off in this contest. The Packers shut him out. First time they've been shut out. Russell Wilson's been shut out in his career. But a good win for the Packers at home. Snow and all that good stuff in there, 17-0. Now, they did lose Aaron Jones in this contest for a couple weeks, so he's going to be out. It was going to be interesting to see if the young man Taylor can come in and do some good things for them, along A.J. Dillon, who's been having a pretty good season so far. Regret trading him in my fantasy. Just me being dumb, knowing all these injuries I got now. But, yes, Green Bay's looking good. Green Bay has the Vikings this week. I can't stand the Vikings. I can't stand the Vikings, but it's going to be a good one this week from Minnesota. Number 1, the Tennessee Titans. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Our first AFC team atop the standings. And so congratulations to the Tennessee Titans being the first AFC team to be top dog here. So congratulations on that front. Man, the Tennessee Titans, man, number 1. But they deserve it. The Tennessee Titans have been through a lot, losing Derrick Henry, no Julio Jones in the last game. So you look at all those things and you say, man, they're going to lose this week. That's your mindset. That's what you end up saying. But look at these victories that the Titans have had here, and they're on a nice little streak. So that since they lost to the Jets, the shocking game, they have won 37-19 over the Jaguars. They beat the Bills 34-31. They beat the Chiefs 27-3. They beat the Colts 34-31. They beat the Rams 28-16. And now they beat the Saints. There's a lot of playoff teams that this Titans team have beaten. Rams, Colts, Chiefs, Saints, Bills. This is Seattle. Throw Seattle in there as well. Tennessee looks great, and they deserve to be number 1 based off of the victories that I've seen over the past few weeks. So congratulations, Tennessee. You're number 1 on the countdown. All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Our power rankings. We're going to sweep through real quick before we give you our top 5 MVPs, MVP candidates heading into week 11. And once again, here we are. The bottom: Lions, Titans, Jets, Jaguars, Dolphins, Giants, Bears, Washington football team, Seattle Seahawks, Falcons, Eagles, and 49ers. Outside looking in: Vikings at 20, 19 Broncos, 18 Browns, 17 Panthers, 16 Colts. Then the top 15, you got the Vegas Raiders at 15, the New Orleans Saints at 14, Chargers at 13, Bengals at 12, Chiefs at 10, Chiefs at 11, Steelers at 10, Patriots at 9, Bucks at 8, Rams at 7, Ravens at 6, Bills at 5, Cardinals at 4, Cowboys at 3, Packers at 2, and Titans at number 1. So there it is. in the week 11, almost ready to go. And let's go ahead and give you our mid-season MVP candidates. Here we are. Even with a bad week, I'm going to still leave Lamar in the mix because Lamar's having a phenomenal season. He's number 5. Kyler Murray, showing why he should be in this race. Why? Because the Cardinals are not the same team without him. And even though they won the week before, you could just see there's something to miss. They need their signal caller back. Number 3, Aaron Rodgers. Yes, I moved him back from number 1 last week, but that was like I told you, last week was just to prove a statement. This week, the numbers are not sexy, but they're just a different team when he's in there. They need him. He is the definition of an MVP, most valuable player. They take him out there, they are not a good team. Number 2, Jonathan Taylor. So Jonathan Taylor's been having a great year. Continues. He's number 1 in rushing. He's number 2. And number 1, the number 1 guy, the MVP right now in my mind, Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys. They look great. And so as of right now, he is the leading candidate for the MVP of the league. All right, everybody. This has been another episode of 101 here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Make sure you enjoy the game tonight, Patriots and Falcons. Make sure you check out all of the great shows we got here on the network, all the great content we got here on the network. Just make sure you check out everybody. Make sure you follow everybody. Make sure you hit us up, Legacy Maker Sports Network. I'm your man, Darrell Owens. Until next time, it has been a pleasure. We'll see you back. Now, we're going to be back at a different time. We're going to be back Wednesday next week because Thanksgiving, there are 3 games. We're going to come a little bit early because we want to enjoy a little time with the family. I'm your man, Darrell Owens. Until next time.
One. Welcome to the 101. When it comes to ratings, man, we number 1.